Welcome to this tutorial on learning with Microbit. In this tutorial, we are going to see how to use MATLAB to control the BBC Microbit. Okay, so I have connected BBC Microbit to my computer, and on my screen, you can see the MATLAB screen. I have a MATLAB version of 2022A, and you can use any of the MATLAB version, whichever you have. Of course, this is the licensed software. So if you are a student of university, or maybe if you have access to your company-wide license, then you can install this MATLAB and learn a very good programming technique to control BBC microbit. Okay, so now once you have connected the BBC microbit, before going for programming the BBC microbit with the MATLAB software, we need to first of all install a hardware support package. So you have to go on this button called as add-on. This you can see on my screen right now. If I click add-ons, it is going to show me all these options. So I have to choose option number last, that is get hardware support packages. This is so because BBC is a hardware and I need to get a support packages so that I can program the BBC microbit with MATLAB. Once you click on this one, it is going to take you to the MATLAB repositories wherein a lot of support packages are provided by the community and of also by the MATLAB. So here we can see that a lot of support packages we can see for Arduino board, the Raspberry Pi boards. Let us search for the BBC microbit. So once you type it, you can see that on the top, there's a package called as Simulink Coder Support Package for BBC microbit. So this is a package which you need to install. So if you click on it, it is going to take you to this screen wherein the button called as install will come. Right now, I've already installed it, so I'm not getting a button called as install. Okay, but instead, I'm getting a button called as manage. So let me click on manage. So it is going to show me that the software is already installed and the version you can see is now 22.1.3. That is a Simulink Coder Support Package for BBC Microbit board. And of course, the date of installation where you have installed this packages. You can also remove it or you can modify it. You can do many things once the package is installed on your computer. Okay. So right now we are since once you installed it and later you can also update the firmware. That all you can do. And this is all up to the installation part for the support package. Once this is installed, then we can start with the programs part. So that is the programming we are going to take up next now. So I assume that the now this add-on is successfully installed on your computer, and we can begin with the programming. Okay, so now once we've installed this add-on package for BBC Microbit, what we can do is we can open this tab called as a Simulink. So Simulink, for those who are new, is a graphical environment wherein we can use the blocks for programming the hardwares. Okay, so currently right now, let me open this block Simulink. So once I open it, you can see that there's an option called as a blank model. So I'm going to click on this blank model. Once I click it, it will pop up a page wherein I can place the blocks and do the programming for my BBC Microbit controller. Once I save this program, then I will have the option to reopen the program for this Simulink menu. Okay. So right now, once you open it, you can see that the it is untitled. This option is coming. That means the program is not saved. So what we can do is we can also save now, or what we can do is once we do the programming in this a white background page, we can save it. So now we can get the our hardware blocks or the Simulink blocks from this library. So if I open this library browser, I will have this option in this drop down menu. So if you have properly installed your BBC Microbit package, you will get this option called as a Simulink Coder Support Package for BBC Microbit. So if this option is appearing on your screen, that means your add-on package is successfully installed in your system. If you click on this, it will show you the different support packages which are used for the BBC Microbit. So in right now we can see that it has a tab called audio accelerometer, basics, some buttons, some LEDs, magnetometer, radio. These are all the same things which we have used with our earlier programming languages of BBC like Python or the make code. They're all we have used as different blocks. So all these different blocks are also supported in our MATLAB packages. So if I click on the accelerometer block, it is going to show me different options which I can use in my project, like shake detection, tilt down, tilt left, tilt right, tilt up, or the values of acceleration in XYZ axis. So let us choose the very first block as a programming tool for our BBC Microbit. I can simply drag this to my screen here. So once the block appears on my screen, I can do the further programming. I can also do a right click and select the program to add this to my this page. So since MATLAB is a programming language, it requires a lot of memory in terms of your RAM. So if your system is fast enough, then these blocks are going to appear at a very fast rate. So now you can see that this block has come into my drawing. It has three options X, Y, Z, which will give me the value of my accelerations. So how to read these values? Let me add a scope. So again, I will go to my library browser. I will just type name scope here in my search box, and the the supporting package will appear here. Also, if you have used a Simulink or MATLAB quite a lot, then you can know that this block is also available under this tab as commonly used block. So if you go here and if you see, then scope is what you can do. So I can also, as I pointed earlier, we can do a right click and add this block to a model instead of dragging and dropping also. So once you add this block to your diagram or this space, you will have to make some connections between these two blocks so that our program will run. This is similar to writing a code wherein we inform that where to display our values of output of interest. So right now this has only one input, so let us make it as a at least three input block. So once I do a double click on this block, this page will open up. So I can go to file, I can go to choose number of input, and I can choose three. Once I choose this, let me close this right now. I can now see that there are three inputs now. Let me make this block little bigger, and now I can make a connection between X to X, Y to second input. So you have to click on this arrows like this and Z to my input number three. So now connections are done. So after doing the connections, you have to download this code to your BBC Microbit. For doing this, you can go to this tab. Right now, I am under the simulation tab. So you can choose this apps tab and you can select the option run on hardware board. If I click on this one, then it is going to ask me which hardware board. So I have to select the hardware board. So it is not Arduino, it is not Raspberry Pi, it is BBC Microbit. So I select this BBC Microbit and I press this button finish. Once I press this button finish, then you can see that the system will take some time to configure the code setting in terms of my new board. And uh, after some time, you can see that just before the apps, this hardware tab will appear. So in this hardware tab, if you see that your board, hardware board is BBC Microbit is already selected, this will appear like this one. You can go to hardware setting in this tab. You can click on this one. So a configuration tab will open up in which you can do some basic configuration of connecting your hardwares. So right now, if I go to this tab hardware implementation, it is going to ask me about my hardware board. This already we know that it is a BBC microbit, so my BBC microbit will appear. I don't need to do any selection here, and it is showing that the device processor like ARM Cortex it is showing. And let me select the option like if I choose a mode called as external mode, then communication interface is serial port. So that is also perfectly selected in a correct way. So basically, I don't need to do anything more setting here. I will just close this tab now. Okay. And what I can do is now my board is defined here, and I've already connected my board here. You can see on my camera, this board is connected via this port to my computer here right now, and I'm going to now download this code. So let me on my screen, if I choose a button called as a build, deploy, and start, then this is going to generate a code and going to deploy on my hardware. So if I choose from this option, build, deploy, and start. So it will, of course, take some time. Of course, you can have a coffee break, but yes, if your system is fast, then this is going to work at a perfectly faster rate. You can see at the down of my screen that the this process is coming up. It is showing that now it is compiling, and you can see these icons all. You can see how much time this will take, but yes, it is going to take some time because the code has to be generated, and then it has to be checked for any errors. If there are no errors, then this will be copied onto this board, and then this board is going to uh, run this code in which what is the program which we have written. It's a simple program which says that give me the values of acceleration in three directions, so and show me on the scope. So the scope is on my computer. So once we run this code on my hardware, then we can do a simple kind of a generation and viewing of this code. So currently we have one error with this board, and the error is highlighted in a red color. Warnings will be in this yellow triangles, and some kind of uh, suggestions from this system will come in, appear like this one. So we need to bother about this red one, which is showing that one error has come up. The following error is the volume microbit is not detected. So it is showing that now currently my BBC microbit is not detected. That means this board is not properly connected. So I need to maybe connect this board properly once so that the system is able to detect it. So again, I'm going to connect this board to my BBC microbit to my computer. And once I remove this cable and again connected it, you can see that now it is appearing as a drive. So let me now again start this process, again deploy it, and let me wait for some time so that it is properly connected. There are no errors in my system, and this code is copied to my BBC Microbit microcontroller. The fun with the using this MATLAB is that I can visualize this code in a real-time basis, and this will help me to understand about my output in a much more proper way. So that's why I like using this graphical display language and which helped me to program quickly as well as visualize my output in a much better way. So now you can see that it has started copying the code to my Microbit, and it is showing building operation. Now it is ready. There are no errors. That means everything is perfectly written to my board. So let us now run this example or this code practically on my computer and see the values of acceleration real time with this scope on my computers. So for this, let me choose some simulation time of say 50 seconds so that we can visualize this output on my uh, uh, screen. So I have made the setting that stop time will be 50 seconds. And with this tab, now I'm going to actually run the code on real time and see the result real time in this scope. So I will just press the screen icon button. So now you can just see the icon here, what it is doing. It is doing some code generation here, and first, it will again do the code generation. Again, it will build the code, check for the errors, deploy the code on my hardware, and then run the code real time for 50 seconds. So I have 50 seconds to visualize this code on my scope. Okay. So let me wait for some time before it completes the building process, deployment process, and then finally execution process in real time. This diagnostic viewer will help us to see if we have some errors here or some kind of issue with our hardware board or the software part. So this diagnostic viewer is a very important tool to let us understand how our board is working. So once this deployment connected to the BBC microbit come, as you can see it down, I will open the scope and try to see it. Now I will open the scope because the code is running. So you can see that this acceleration is coming because this board is static. So all three lines are static. So now let me tilt the board on camera. You can see that if I tilt the board or make it shake it, then the accelerations are changing, and it will change for all three directions. If I make it static, then you can see that the values will be all constant. So depending. Okay, so in this way, what now we have seen is that how we can visualize this scope for reading the different values. So like what we have done is that since we have kept the simulation time of 50 seconds, as here we can visualize this acceleration till 50 seconds. So likewise, if you change the simulation timing, then you can able to visualize this for a larger amount of time. But of course, this is going to take up your computer space, time, as well as your computer power. So make sure that you have ample or a good quality system so that you can study more properly with this kind of a tools. So let me close this block now. In the same way, what we can do is suppose you want to do with some other block also, then we again have to go to the simulation tab, and this library browser window is going to be there. And from this window, what we can do is that we can again choose the simulating code as support package for BBC Microbit, and we can also uh, select other buttons like audio. Suppose you want to make some sound like we did using make code, you can use the tabs. Or there are some basic buttons like suppose you want to read the values of your inputs, the digital pins, then you can use this all different blocks. If you want to play with your buttons or you want to press some code running with the buttons, then of course you can use these buttons here. The same way, suppose you want to show some LED on your screen, then you can of course use this device to again connect. So likewise, if I use this simple LED screen, if I drag it here, and what I can do is that instead of scope now or the That's all. I will just remove it right now. Make sure this is deleted. This block is deleted. I can use this LED matrix output to show different values on my microbit. So I can use strings to show the string values on my microbit. Okay. So likewise, there are different possibilities which we can use on our microbit. With this tutorials, I have placed some practice exercises in forms of a sample problems, so you can read more about those in the attachments with this video, so that you can practice more using the different types of a code. And of course, if you are since you are new to the system, you can practice with the some standard programs also, which are available with the MATLAB support packages also. So that is also one of the possibilities which will help us to program this device in a much better way. Just to show you also, once this also blocks have a magnetometer for, again, like we did with the acceleration part also, I can take the values of the value of the magnetic field on the three different axes. I can also use a ready block for receive and transmit also. So along with all this block, we can also do some own codings in a very simple way, so that we can process the output using some functions. So if you want to use a function, you can type just a function here, and uh, uh, the MATLAB is going to show you about some basic function block. Also, you can search it here if you are quite familiar with the MATLAB. This one, then also you can search in this drop-down window also. So basically, in functions, what you can do is you can use this MATLAB function to create some sample programs, so that this we can link with our a microbit to have a program. So what we can do is we can use a MATLAB function to write some simple codes, and in the form of a language we do with the Pythons, and you can save it and again come back, and you can connect the output to our different parameters of MATLAB. So that is also one way of doing programming and working around with the this Simulink code package of BBC Microbit. Let me show you also a simple program which we can also run as a standalone, like we did with the make code and Python. So let me open one saved example. This is one of the examples. I'm just going to make this screen larger, so you can see that I want to show this happy face on my this LED matrix screen. So I have taken this block from the library, and I've connected this block here, and there's also option to control the brightness. So I'm making it glow with some value, say 30. I can also change this value, say I can make it like 50, or maybe I can choose the value from between 0 to 100. And let us see that how this code is going to work. So again, I will go to my app, because I've already selected this option. So my hardware block is appearing here. So the board name is BBC Microbit is appearing here. So let me first generate the code using this build, deploy, and start button. And once this process is completed, then I can just see the output on my screen. Because I don't want to see in real time, this will also work as a standalone on my microbit. So once I copy this code, so on my camera screen, this face should appear if there are no errors in our program and everything is all right. So very simple code to connect and display some values like we did with the this one. So likewise, we can also do some complex programming as pointed out earlier using the functions buttons. So those who want to write a code, they can use function button, or you can also use the other tools like the Simulink library options to support your programming drives. I'll be sharing you some sample programs to try out and have a look and have a practice. So the more you practice, the more you learn, and the more the problem you face, the more better you become. That is what is I feel. And of course, if you have any doubts or if any kind of issues, you can always ping me on my ID along with this tutorial. I'll be happy to help you out with the with your different snippets of code. So, learning this language requires patience, requires hard work, and of course, this is the most enjoyable moment once the code successfully runs on our systems. So, let us wait for some more time. I think you can see that it is still compiling. Maybe my system has become a little bit slow, but yes, of course, uh, it supports a lot of different hardwares and all. So I'll wait for some time. Now you can see on on my camera the happy block has come. So that means this code has now copied perfectly. There are no errors, and my program from my Simulink MATLAB is copied to my BBC Microbit. So a happy face for us. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on learning and programming BBC Microbit with Simulink with MATLAB package. And in some later sections, we are also going to see about some more examples also. Till then, bye for now. Happy learning and happy coding. Meet you in the next lecture. Till then, goodbye.